Before the Falcons, before the Commodores, Aussie police cruisers were wild. From tiny minis chasing crooks to secret spy cars with hidden weapons, these are the most unexpected cop cars of the 1960s. And trust me, you won't believe number 1. Number 10, Studebaker Lark. First up, let's talk about a car that might surprise you, the Studebaker Lark. Yep, you heard that right. Now, these weren't the usual muscle cars you might think of, but in the early 60s, the police needed something tough and reliable, and the Lark fit the bill.
Maneuverability, efficient performance and reliability.
But what made a Studebaker, of all things, a choice for police work? The Lark's appeal wasn't about raw speed. Although it could reach a respectable 177 kilometers per hour, usually powered by a sturdy engine mated to a 3-speed column shift manual, though automatics were sometimes used in city environments. The real secret was their toughness. Studebaker beefed them up with reinforced frames, heavy-duty suspensions, and significantly upgraded brakes, all essential for the rigors of police work. A new one would have set the department back around $2,500. Finding one today is a real treasure hunt, and a pristine, documented example could easily command over $30,000.
Remember, you have to drive the Lark to believe it. The Lark by Studebaker.
Number 9, Ford Customline. Next on our list is a car that's a bit of a legend, but maybe not in the way you think, the Ford Customline. In the 60s, Ford was a big name, and the Customline was one of their workhorses. The police saw something special in it too. So, how did the Customline go from a regular car to a police cruiser? Many police Customlines rocked the 352 cubic inch Interceptor Special V8, packing around 220 horsepower and hitting speeds near 185 kilometers per hour. They needed to be tough, so think heavy-duty springs, shocks often with different ratings for city or highway, and upgraded brakes, sometimes with metallic linings for extra stopping power. Priced around $2,700 new, a well-maintained one today could fetch over $40,000. While not a dedicated police model, they used heavy-duty taxi and fleet components. They were reliable workhorses across Australia. Some even had optional limited slip differentials for better traction. But hang on, one of these police cars wasn't just chasing criminals. It was part of an undercover spy mission, a car so secret its modifications were classified for decades. Coming up, can you guess which one? The answer might shock you. Number 8, Holden FB. Now, let's look at a car that's as Aussie as it gets, the Holden FB. In the early 1960s, the Holden FB was everywhere, and it wasn't just a family car. The police found it to be a great choice for their work too. It was tough, and it could handle the rough Aussie roads. The police version often relied on the 138 cubic inch grey motor, producing around 75 horsepower. While not a powerhouse by any means, top speed was around 135 kilometers per hour. Its legendary reliability and the widespread availability of parts were major selling points. Police departments appreciated its simple design and ease of maintenance, especially those on tight budgets. Of course, a heavy-duty suspension and frame were non-negotiable for police work. A new FB cost around $2,200, and a well-maintained example today can easily be worth over $25,000. Police versions stood out with their specialized equipment, upgraded clutches and transmissions to handle the constant stop-start driving. Some models had hidden radios and upgraded lighting for better visibility during night patrols, and durable, heavy-duty vinyl seats. Some even boasted early versions of mobile data terminals, a glimpse into the future of police technology. But it wasn't just about what was under the hood. Automakers started incorporating secret features specifically for police use. Think hidden radios tucked away in glove boxes, pop-up lights that appeared seemingly out of nowhere, and reinforced doors for added protection. They were essential tools, providing officers with a crucial advantage in dangerous situations. Spotlights and map lights were also common additions, enhancing visibility and aiding in navigation. Let's check out another cop car that might blow your mind. A little car with a big job. Number 7. Morris Mini Cooper S. Let's talk about a car that might make you do a double take. The Morris Mini Cooper S. Yes, the tiny Mini. In the 1960s, police forces, especially in places like Sydney, needed something small and quick for city streets. The Mini Cooper S was just the ticket. It was like a little rocket on wheels. Don't let its size fool you. The engine, specially tuned to produce around 76 horsepower, was a significant amount of power for such a small car. It revved to a screaming 6,500 RPM and could reach speeds around 150 kilometers per hour. Its legendary handling, a result of its front-wheel drive and innovative hydroelastic suspension, made it incredibly agile in tight corners and during pursuits. The disc brakes, a major upgrade at the time, provided excellent stopping power. A new Mini Cooper S costs around $2,000. Today, a well-maintained example is a collector's item, easily exceeding $50,000. Police Minis received special upgrades, and their unassuming appearance made them perfect for undercover work. Rally-style seats, extra gauges, and surprisingly good fuel economy were added bonuses. The compact size, however, meant that police departments had to be selective about which officers could comfortably and effectively operate the vehicle. Number 6. Ford Zephyr. Now let's move on to a car that was a common cop car. The police version, though not as famous as some other cars, played a role in policing during the 1960s. It was chosen because it was reliable and had enough space for police gear. Powering the police version was the 156 cubic inch inline 6, giving around 90 horsepower. It had a respectable top speed of 152 kilometers per hour. Not overly powerful, but very dependable and capable of running long shifts with no problems. A strong, durable build meant the police did not have to worry about much. The suspension was durable enough to handle the stress of police work. The Zephyr back then would cost around $2,600. It's rare to find them in good condition nowadays, and the prices are around $30,000. Not many police Zephyrs were made. They also had a lot of trunk space, and some models were tested for accurate speed readings, but most retained standard instrumentation. Number 5. Holden HR. The Holden HR, introduced in 1966, quickly became a staple for Australian police forces. The HR built upon the reliability of earlier Holdens, but added some performance improvements that made it appealing for law enforcement. The most common engine in police HRs was the 186 cubic inch red 6-cylinder, delivering a respectable 145 horsepower. A noticeable improvement over the older grey motor. This translated to a top speed of around 160 kilometers per hour. The HR also benefited from upgraded suspension components compared to its predecessors, providing better handling, especially during pursuits. Police versions naturally came standard with heavy-duty shocks and springs, along with improved brakes. Many were equipped with a 3-speed column-shift manual transmission, although automatics were also available. A new HR would have cost around $2,400. Today, a well-maintained example, particularly one with documented police history, can easily fetch upwards of $35,000. The HR proved its versatility, serving in various roles from general patrol duties to highway pursuit. Some police HRs were even fitted with special oil coolers to prevent overheating during prolonged high-speed operation. Number 4. Chrysler Valiant AP5 and AP6. Now moving on to the Chrysler Valiant AP5 and AP6 models, produced in the mid-1960s, were popular choices for police departments looking for a combination of size, power, and reliability. Police Valiants often featured the robust 225 cubic inch slant 6 engine, delivering around 145 horsepower. This engine was renowned for its durability and strong torque, making it well suited for the demands of police work, with a top speed of about 170 kilometers per hour. The Valiant's torsion air suspension, which utilized torsion bars instead of traditional coil springs, provided good handling characteristics, important for both city maneuvering and highway stability. Naturally, police versions were equipped with heavy-duty components throughout, including upgraded brakes and cooling systems. They often featured enhanced electrical systems to handle the additional load of police radios and other equipment. A new Valiant would cost approximately $2,800. Today, well-preserved examples, especially the rarer police-modified versions, can command prices exceeding $40,000. The AP5 and AP6 Valiants were known for their ruggedness, making them a solid and reliable choice for the challenging conditions of police work. Their relatively spacious interiors also provided a welcome degree of comfort for officers. Number 3. Ford Falcon XM and XP. It's time for the top 3. The Ford Falcon XM and XP models, produced from 1964 to 1966, marked a significant step for Ford in Australia and became a common sight in police fleets. While some police Falcons used the smaller engines, the more desirable versions were equipped with the 200 cubic inch Super Pursuit 6-cylinder engine. This engine made approximately 121 horsepower. The engine could rev to around 4,400 RPM, and the car's top speed was approximately 160 kilometers per hour. These Falcons were built with reinforced chassis and heavy-duty suspension components to handle the rigors of police duty. The brakes were often upgraded, and some cars featured improved cooling systems. Police versions often came with a 3-speed manual transmission, though automatics were also available. A new Falcon in this era would cost around $2,300. Today, well-preserved examples, particularly those with police history, can fetch prices over $30,000. The Falcon's success in police service helped establish its reputation as a tough and reliable car in Australia. The Falcon's relatively lightweight body, combined with the 200 cubic inch engine, gave it a good power-to-weight ratio for the time. Number 2. Vauxhall Cresta. Now let's take a look at the second from the top, a less common but still noteworthy police car of the 1960s in Australia, the Vauxhall Cresta. Used in some jurisdictions, the Cresta offered a different approach to police vehicle design, often chosen for its comfort and smooth ride. Police-used Crestas were often equipped with a 161 cubic inch straight 6-cylinder engine, producing around 95 horsepower. It wasn't a powerhouse, but it provided adequate performance for general patrol duties. The top speed was around 145 kilometers per hour. The Cresta had a more luxurious interior than many other police cars of the time, providing a bit more comfort for officers on long shifts. These were equipped with heavy-duty brakes and suspension, and some were fitted with upgraded electrical systems to handle the demands of police radios and other equipment. A new Cresta would have cost around $2,900. Today, finding a Cresta in good condition is challenging, and prices can vary widely, often exceeding $20,000 for well-preserved examples. The Cresta was a less common sight in police fleets compared to Holdens and Fords, making it a unique piece of Australian police vehicle history. The Cresta's softer suspension provided a more comfortable ride than some of the more rugged police vehicles, which was appreciated by officers who spent long hours on patrol. Number 1. Humber Super Snipe. At number 1 is the Humber Super Snipe, an interesting part of the police vehicle family in the 1960s in Australia. Chosen for its larger size and more powerful engine, the Super Snipe often served as a highway patrol vehicle. The Humber was used with a 182 cubic inch inline-6 engine, generating around 132 horsepower. This gave it a respectable top speed of around 160 kilometers per hour, making it suitable for highway pursuits. The car had a heavy-duty build, befitting its role as a police vehicle. The suspension was designed for comfort and stability, even at higher speeds. The Humber Super Snipe also had a spacious interior, offering plenty of room for officers and their equipment. The Humber Super Snipes were sold for an estimated $3,200 back in the 60s. Nowadays, you'd be really lucky to find one. And if you do, it could be priced above $40,000, depending on its condition. The Humber Super Snipe was relatively rare and unique, adding to its collectability today. The Super Snipe's larger engine and robust construction made it a capable vehicle for covering long distances on Australia's highways. So, there you have it, 10 surprising cars that patrolled the streets of Australia in the 1960s. They were also a lot more diverse than you might have imagined.